Remember, Christianity and Judaism are a continuation. It's still one story, from all the way from Genesis all the way to the end of Revelation. It's one story. So it's all being tied back together. Think of it as, a series like Star Wars.
Yeah.
What happens in the very last Star Wars? Darth Vader dies. Yes. So, I'm reading for you. Yes, it's the Titanic. The boat sinks. Okay. I would say Rosebud is a sled, but they wouldn't get it. Okay, anyway, go ahead. All right. All the tribes, peoples, and nations. So this is a story about everybody. Tribes, peoples, and nations. They celebrate, exchange presents. Next one. Again, numbers don't get too hung up on specifics. Don't also get too hung up. Remember, Alan warned you, you don't want to get too tied up in the little scenes as to miss the big picture, the flow of the big picture. And things are really starting to flow here. Chapters 10 and 11, we're seeing a lot of things happening. Next one. A great earthquake. A tenth of the city fell. What did Alan say about a number like a tenth, a proportion?
It's a lot.
Just means a lot. Yeah. 7,000 people. Again, a lot. And now the second woe is past. The third woe is coming. So you'll see this pattern in a lot of the stories in the Bible. You'll see it in the Daniel. You'll see it in the stories of Revelation. You have three things. 1 and 2 are bad. Wait till number 3. Okay, so who wants to read number 3 for me? Bradley.
Then the seventh angel blew his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven saying, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever." Then the 24 elders who sit on the thrones before God fell on their faces and worshipped God, singing, "We give you thanks, Lord God Almighty, who are and who were, for we give you thanks, Lord God Almighty, who are and who were, for you have taken your great power and begun to reign. The nations raged, but your wrath has come, and the time for judging the dead, for rewarding your servants, the prophets and saints, and all who fear your name, both small and great, and for destroying those who destroyed the earth." Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and the ark of his covenant was seen within his temple, and there were flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, and earthquakes, and heavy hail.
Okay. Now, where the scene has changed. We were on earth. Now where are we?
Heaven.
We're back in heaven. The seventh trumpet is born is in heaven. And 7 is an important number. You see 7 in the Bible a lot. What does the number 7 mean? Complete. Something's complete. So we've done all the trumpets here. And so all this comes up, and it goes to the next slide. Unfortunately, there are 24 elders who sit on their thrones before God fell on their faces. Now, if you look actually in the printed Bible that's before you, I'm just holding one up here. This is the section we're going to be right here. Notice how it's laid out. Notice how the format. What does that look like?
It's like a point.
Looks like a point. So this isn't really a description. This isn't really what's happening in the movie. This is a poem embedded in the movie. So now you have a poem. And poetry is always very symbolic as well. So now we have things that are going to, we have all these symbols and all these connections in the action that we've seen. Now we have words that are going to be even more poetic, and they're going to be even more symbolic. So you have symbols on top of symbols. This is what makes Revelation so difficult. This is what makes Revelation a great target for all the nut jobs. Because there's all these symbols, and everyone's trying to figure out what all these symbols mean. If you get caught up in what the symbols mean and trying to figure out every one of them, you're going to miss this ebb and flow that we see. You're going to miss this action. You're going to miss this movie that Alan keeps describing for us. So what's in it? There's praise. Go ahead. There's a review of history. Fear your name, great and strong. Those who destroy the earth. Go ahead. Okay. But what you see is, you see a pattern of a point. So you see in this last one, something very important. What do you see coming up? A very important object. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was the footstool of God. Now remember, one thing about when John wrote this, no one knew where the Ark was. The Ark was gone. The Ark had been taken from the temple. The temple had been destroyed by the Romans. So the Ark was outside of Israel. It was in the hands of pagans, if it still existed. No one even knew where the Ark was. Remember, there was a movie a few years ago, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was lost. It got lost in 70 AD, and this was written about 50 years later, 50 to 70 years later. Okay, so the Ark appears, the footstool of God. This is an important object. So things are about to come together. So we've been building and building and building. Chapters 10 and 11, we're getting in the middle of the book, so we're getting in the middle of the movie. We're really getting everything tied together. And so this is where everything is kind of coming, make sure. No, we're still not there yet. Okay. Again, flashings, lightning, rumbling, peals of thunder, earthquake, heavy hail, natural phenomena. Isn't the work of man. This is the work of nature. This is the work of nature's God that's being revealed here. So God's temple, the ark is coming back, and things that you see related not to man, but to God. So this is the ebb and flow of the movie. This is the excitement of the movie. It's building up. So we're getting ready to hit the climax here. So stay tuned next week. Same bat time. Same bat channel. Don't get that either. Okay. But anyway, this is chapters 10 and 11. Anything stand out at you? Anything that you noticed from these chapters so far?
Poetry.
The poetry. That connects with you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. What else grabbed you out of all this?
Action.
Lots of action. Lots and lots of action.
I can see how the people that were going through everything that two people were doing while they celebrated they were dead, because they were causing all the havoc on the earth, and they were having to go through it also.
Yeah.
They didn't really know who they were, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of mystery. A lot of mystery. We don't know exactly who these people are. We don't know what remember, don't say what the thunder said. So we're also getting some things that are hidden. Things are being revealed, but things are also being hidden. So there's mystery. We've got some tension, which is part of a good story, you know? A good whodunit. Get you wondering what's going on. You know? I mean, this is good literature, actually. You know, just from a literary standpoint, this is exciting and interesting stuff. That's why it captures people's imagination. You'll notice that a lot of these symbols that come up, you'll see in stained glass. We don't have a lot of, decorative stained glass here, but in some churches, you'll see a lot of these images are the ones that become put on the banners and put on the stained glass. And a lot of Christian art is based on Revelation because there's so much in it. And there's so much interesting things happening. Anything else stand out? Anything else grab you here?
Like being from heaven to earth, like going back and forth.
Going back and forth from heaven to earth, like it's becoming blurred. The lines are becoming blurred.
Like God is coming.
What? God is coming. Well, remember earlier it said the King of the Lord is with the Messiah. Anything else?